So here we are on another trip. This is a trip that we took from Chicago to Newfoundland. Purpose of this video, it's only quick, but it's just to show some of the utilities in the van and how they're laid out, how I installed them. So underneath the dishwashing sink, here's a 6-gallon hot water tank. Bought it from a local hardware store. 120 volt, plugs directly into a wall socket, and it heats up quite nice. Gives you lots of water for washing your hands and washing the dishes. Was going to make it smaller, but the 6 gallons in there, it's been running fine. Haven't had no issue with it whatsoever. Underneath the sinks there, you can see some of the drain lines. There's a vent there to help the lines drain better. The drains for the sink were only 3/4 inch. They're a camp sink, they call them. So I just added it into a 3/4 PEX line, and that's what I ran underneath the van to drain the sinks. Here you can notice the inverter too. The two power bars. 30 amp cable runs in from outside the van. You can see it here on the ground. I added this additionally, and then it runs to the two power bars inside that are have two 15 amp circuit breakers in them. So you can get 15 amps out of one power bar, 15 amps out of the other. Here's the jump start cable for the Ford Transit. Notice I have, this is fused. I have two fuses here. I use two 60 amp fuses. And I have two 60 amp fuses back at the batteries in the van. You'll see those soon. Here's, with the battery box top removed, you can see the two batteries here, the AGM cells. See the two fuses there below the red? Again, I'm using two 60s in parallel. You can use a 120, but make sure you have fuses on the batteries, because if the cable shorts on either end, you don't want to fire. Here's the solenoid. Solenoid gets 12 volt signal when the Transit starts up. Closes the 150 amp solenoid here and supplies the current back to the batteries in the back of the cab to charge the batteries. Here you can see the inverter. The inverter is mounted inside the cupboard underneath the sink. It has a yellow cord in it there. That's the refrigerator. Refrigerator runs off the batteries, stays going constantly while we're on the road. It can last about 2 days on those two cells. The two AGM, they're a deep marine RV battery. Here's the box mounted underneath the van. You can see the water fill line in this picture as well. The cord just shows back into that box and keeps it safe while you're traveling. There's the water fill port, comes up from that black hose. The water tank is suspended right here with the aluminum bars, and the ready rod hangs down from the frame of the van, and then the two bars hold the tank in place. Same configuration here on the gray water tank. You got the ready rod hanging down underneath the van, the hangers made out of aluminum, and they hold up the gray water tank in place. I put a bar on the top and a bar on the bottom just to hold it snug. Here's the drain lines, 3/4 inch running into the gray water tank. One drain line runs across the van for the opposite sink. The other sink almost empties directly into this tank because it's right directly above it. Here you can see how I suspended some of the wiring and water lines underneath the van. Basically tie wrap. Been there now for a nice while, hasn't moved. All looks good. I just inspected it today actually, and it all looks fine. Here's the drain I use for the gray water tank. Sometimes I'll put it on an incline just to make sure I get everything out of there when I open the valve. But overall, the depth of the tank, even if there is a little left in there, I know what you're thinking with that small valve, but it's fine. I haven't had an issue with it. Here's the welding cable that runs to the back of the van to charge the cabin batteries.